north on Piedmont Street. At the stop sign, turn right onto Finkel Street. Turn right onto Keeler Street, then turn right onto Warwick Street. Turn right onto Warwick Street, then turn left onto Finkel Street. At the stop sign, turn left onto Finkel Street.
Scotty Anderson, sorry. But then things go downhill from there. I mean, the next year, you go with Joey Harrington and Kalimba.
In half a mile, turn left onto Southfield Freeway frontage
road.
road.
The next year, Charles Rogers, breaks his collarbone twice. Boss Bailey,
way worse than Quinn. Quinn's bad. It's not trending in the right direction at all.
I'm looking at his first round picks for Miller are incredibly bad.
Yeah.
Harrington, Charles Rogers, Roy Williams, Kevin Jones, Mike Williams, Ernie Sims. I mean, that is absolutely pathetic what he's picking up there. Now, some of that's injury related. Harrington may have been a completely different quarterback if he never had the heart condition, and who knows what Charles Rogers could have been if he never got hurt, although he may have smoked himself out of the league anyway. But the rest of those guys there's no excuses for how bad they were. And until you get to 2008 when you draft Calvin Johnson, because you're so bad, you have no choice. Gosder chairless the next year, and then they have enough. And then here comes the Matt Stafford.
All right, here we go. More feedback as promised. Why do you still play Patricia Clips? He can't coach. It's simple. The man has no idea how to adjust his defense to its strengths. He keeps trying to use a scheme which this roster isn't designed to execute. Well, here's the thing. He keeps using the scheme because he keeps signing players and drafting players that they think fit. Tavai fits the scheme. Collins fits the scheme. Akuda fits the scheme. In their terms. I mean, they went out and specifically got guys that they think fit the scheme. There's no doubt it's not working, but it's always lip service with Patricia. They should have canned him last year, and now management is sleeping in the bed that they
Turn
made.
left onto Southfield Freeway frontage road.
Guys, go back and
keep
consider
left.
the Khalil Mack trade. Outside the first year, the Raiders should
Use the
have
left
won
lane
that
to
trade.
keep left to merge onto M39
What
North.
makes people think Stafford would have won somewhere else just because he was drafted #1 overall? Because he's put up inflated stats. He's never won a championship in college either, right? He just put up good stats. I mean, look,
You put Stafford in the Dallas Cowboys 5-6 years ago with that offensive line.
In 3.7 miles, take exit 16 on the left to merge onto M10 North toward I-696 West.
I mean, I'm reading stuff this week, hearing stuff this week, and it's still being said around the league. Oh my God, the Lions are just wasting staff. They're just wasting staff. Terry Bradshaw said it. One of the power rankings this week said they're wasting the prime of Stafford's career. So you guys, I mean, everybody can roll their eyes. Just keep in mind that means they might be able to get something from him on the trade market because he is respected around this league. Let's get back to your phone call. Sean on a cell is next. Hi, Sean.
Hey, how are you?
So,
the thing that scares me is Lions ownership, and the thing that confuses me is management. The Lions ownership for the win now, and they let them host very long and now they don't sign Kenny Galladay. So what does that say? You have your own marketing issue with Kenny Galladay, right? If you lock him up, most probably won't take him because they're going to give him too much money. You won't be able to you waiting for Kenny Galladay to come back?
They didn't spend a ton of money. All right, did they overspend on Jamie Collins? Probably, but it's not like they gave him $15 million a year. And
No,
these are
but
contracts. These are hold on
Hold
a second. These are also NFL contracts. You can get out of NFL contracts. It's not that hard. You're paying salary, signing bonus and stuff like that. But these are contracts that are made to get out of it in this league. And the Lions have a ton of cap space. So they can absorb some mistakes. And frankly, if the Lions are going to move on from Matthew Stafford, which I think they should and probably will do, then you're admitting that it's going to take another couple of years before you have a chance
Use
to
the left lane
really
to take
contend,
exit
because
16
rookie
on the
quarterbacks
left
don't
to
do
merge
that.
onto
Second-year
M10
quarterbacks
north toward
rarely do that.
I-696
Third-year
west.
quarterbacks, that's when you're expecting it. So by that point, you're not really worried about money that you have on the books now, because that money's going to be off the books when you're ready to contend.
The one thing I think Bob Quinn is doing is responsible for not signing Galladay.
Exit left.
It might be, and that's why I brought that up. I really think that that's a bargaining chip he has.
Yeah.
But it's Bob Quinn, and I don't want Bob Quinn to use it.
If they are not signing Galladay, then barring some miracle, he absolutely must be traded. He must be traded for a high draft pick. Right? And if this team's fading and they're not going to re-sign him and he hasn't signed and it's not trending in the right direction in any way,
In
even if
5.7 miles,
Quinn is
turn
still
right
the
onto Inkster
GM,
Road.
you cannot hang on to him and lose him. You have to trade him. You have to trade him.
And, I mean, the call suggested Green Bay, which was devastated Lions fans that did something like that. But, I mean, the thought of trading him is going to devastate some Lions fans, because Kenny Galladay is great. And yet, think about what's best for this team's future. It's so sad and pathetic that 2 games into the season, we're already like, okay, now I think at this point, Don, just about everybody has moved on from Stafford being a guy who's going to win with this franchise, because the franchise is in such poor shape right now.
It feels like they're so far away from winning that they may as well try and trade him in the offseason, lessen the cap hit to the previous year, and start him.
Yeah, so if you're trading, what could you get for Kenny Galladay? I mean, realistically, you're talking about, even though he's going to be a free agent at the end of the year, the team that you trade him to, I mean, it might be contingent on signing him to a long-term deal, which I don't think a team would have an issue with, because he is so young, and you can get him, I mean, not on the cheap certainly, but you're going to get him at a price that's more affordable than it would be a few years down the road.
I don't know. I mean, you'd have to be getting at least a second rounder, if not more. Like a second rounder and something. What did DeAndre Hopkins get? He was the same thing, right? Contract up, second, fourth, and David Johnson. And I think I think very highly of Kenny Galladay. I personally think very highly of Kenny Galladay. Hopkins is a bigger name in the league. Galladay had a better year last year. So, I would have to think it would be a very nice return. Have to.
I would think that, if you're offered a first-round pick, you jump at it.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a second and something else, you probably do it. But it's going to have, the conversation's going to have to, you can't even negotiate because it's Bob Quinn. You know what I mean?
But if Quinn has a job, you got to let him.
Yeah.
If Quinn has the job, you got to let him. 248-539-9797. We got a college football over-under question coming up today at 11:20. It's Carson Anderson, 97.1, the ticket.
Donald Trump says we're not safe in Biden's America, but we're living in Trump's America now. And 200,000 Americans have died from the virus that he lied about.
The simple truth is, Donald Trump failed to protect America. So now, he's trying to scare
Stay in the
America.
right 3 lanes.
Mr. Trump, you want to talk about fear? You know, people are afraid they're going to get COVID. They're afraid they're going to get sick and die. And that is in no small part because of you.
Joe Biden will protect the American people, putting our safety above all else.
I want a safe America. Safe from COVID. Safe from crime.
candidate for president, and I approve this message. Paid for by Biden for president.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou, a term provider, 800-345-2789. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-345-2789. That's 800-345-2789 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-345-2789.
Stop dreaming and start driving with a low auto loan rate from Community Financial. Low rates and no application fee mean you'll drive away with a payment designed to fit your budget. Get started today at cfcu.org.
Happen in Detroit sports, you hear it first on Detroit's #1 sports station, 97.1 The Ticket. Breaking news powered by Radio.com Sports and brought to you by Pennzoil. Motor oils from natural gas. The proof is in the Pennzoil. WXYT FM and WXYT HD1 Detroit. A Radio.com sports station. Sports headlines all day, every day. From the Sold by Mike Z Sports Desk, this is 97.1 The Ticket.
It's another day of work for the Lions as the team continues to get ready for Sunday's game in Arizona against the Cardinals. Unlike the winless Lions, Arizona undefeated after its first 2 games of the year, which former Lion Devon Kennard credits to an improved Cardinals defensive attack.
I think we're a pretty good defense. We just got to continue to get better. You know, you can't get comfortable in this league. Where the opponents are just going to start scheming us up more and more. They're just going to get better and better. So you know, we can't rest on our laurels.
Arizona is ranked 7th in the NFL in total defense so far this season, allowing an average of 17.5 points and 341 offensive yards per game. Meanwhile, according to a story in today's editions of the Bloomberg News, officials at Fox are reportedly willing to spend $2 billion per year in its next contract with the NFL to keep broadcasting the league's games on Sundays. NFL officials have reportedly begun to listen to offers from interested networks, even though the current television rights don't expire until after the 2021 season. The Tigers will look to keep their fading playoff hopes alive with a win over the Twins tonight in Minnesota. We'll have the game here on The Ticket starting at 7:15. Pretty much no margin for error for the Tigers. Their magic number to be eliminated from the American League playoff race is 3. There's one item of note from college sports today as officials at Central Michigan have hired former Texas Associate AD Amy Folin as the Chippewas' new athletic director. Folin replaces Michael Alford, who left Central back in July to become the new CEO of Florida State University's athletic fundraising program. At the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Tony Ortiz. For more, stay tuned to 97.1 The Ticket and Radio.com.
I'm Coach Scott Anderson, 97.1 The Ticket. Happy Tuesday, everybody. 248-539-9797. So, you know, still talking about this Lions 0-2 start, but how it pertains to the future. And one of the things that's come up here is, what do you do with Kenny Golladay? His contract expires after this year. They haven't locked him up long term. Trade deadline's a month away. They're 0-2. A lot can happen in a month. But what feels most likely is they will quickly fade from any hope, any scintilla of a hope of any. What do you think of scintilla?
I like the word.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah.
If we're going to describe how small of a chance there is that this thing turns around, is there a word better than scintilla?
No, I think, you know, it's you start with shred and you get better.
Then turn right onto Inkster
Scintilla
Road.
is better than shred.
So, and scintilla, like, implies, well, I can give you the exact definition of scintilla here in a minute, but scintilla implies.
What's up? Hey. Hello. What's going on? originally I was told if they're not ADA compliant, both have to be changed to ADA compliant. But yeah, I would call, I guess, you know who I'd call? I would call Tony, the new guy. I'll call Christine and ask her, because they freaking change it all the time. Originally it was that, and then they said no, just what was damaged. But yeah, it should be, if they tore up a corner, they should be putting it back ADA compliant. But for some reason, they keep flip-flopping on whether the whole corner should be ADA compliant. Okay. Bye.
I'm out of here.
In 1 mile.
I'm out of
Around.
here.
Yeah, I mean, they've got decisions to make all over the board, and that's why it's tough. Because they let it get to this position in the first place.
Galladay will think there's only a microbial chance that we will ever be good here.
Well, I mean, this is more evidence as to why they should have fired him at the end of last season. Because then you would have a new GM in place, and that new GM, well, first of all, who knows what direction he would have gone if he had a new GM. Went with the third pick overall, maybe would have gone with that.
Maybe they would have moved the quarterback and drafted their next guy. Maybe they would have signed a free agent to keep the seam warm. I mean, who knows? 248-539-9797. Nathan's on a cell. What's up, Nathan?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Okay.
So, I've done a little bit of thinking here, and I'm not 100% sure whether my stats is a bigger indictment on the franchise or Matthew Stafford, but I just want to throw some names out here. Carson Palmer played 8 seasons, 7 seasons, right? 7 or 8 seasons in Cincinnati, no playoff wins. Andy Dalton, 8 seasons, no playoff wins. Archie Manning, 11 seasons, way back in the day, no playoff wins. Matt Stafford, 11 seasons, no playoff wins. All for the same team, right? So, the question is it Matthew Stafford's fault for being drafted by the Lions, or is it the Lions' fault for not cutting bait sooner than season 11?
You know, it's interesting because the organizations that you mentioned there were Arizona, Cincinnati, and New Orleans, who both went through incredibly long stretches of being insanely inept. And they all three of them have pulled out of it. The Lions really haven't.
They're sticking to their guns.
Yeah,
Well, technically, was Carson Palmer, were you looking in with the Bengals or the Cardinals?
He was with both.
The Bengals. Well, he won with the Cardinals, so.
He did win with the Cardinals. Yeah. I mean, look, there's the Lions' ineptitude has been documented from so many different directions. There's not a whole lot of new stuff that can be offered up.
Yeah, well, let me say this, though, because he makes me think about it with the comments there. Some of the blame for 11 years of failure in the same franchise goes on the player because they decided to re-up. Stafford didn't have to re-sign with the Lions. He went where the money was. Would he have gotten more money if he had, if he let his agents know, I'm done here, I don't want to be part of this? He could have been franchised a couple times and really gotten paid, and then would have gotten a giant contract from somebody else if he had left, and we would have been done with him after 6 or 7 years. But I guess there's still hope at that point. But he ended up signing the big contract after the big contract, so that's on the player too.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not all on the organization.
Could he have decided to leave? He could have. I think we need to be a little bit careful in that we struggle with the NBA because players don't want to sign here. Players don't want to be here.
Right.
We went through an era where the Red Wings got guys, and now the Red Wings don't get guys. When we have a guy that wants to be here, I don't want to slam him for sticking around when he's been one of their best players.
I'm not slamming him for sticking around. I'm just saying that you have to look at it from all sides, this whole 360 thing, and understand that he made his decision to stay here too. Now, why did he do it? Did he do it solely for money, or did he do it because he believed in the guys who were running his franchise, they were going to do the right thing?
I think he must have believed, but he also, in which case he was wrong, but he also, I think he likes the area. I think he does like it here, but
just not a pool on a lake.
No,
change that up.
Not with little kids. Jerry in Dearborn. Hi, Jerry.
Hey guys, how you doing today?
What's up?
Hey, let me play devil's advocate real quick with you guys, and then I'll get your opinion. And this is Jerry Hill from Dearborn, so you know where I stand on all this. But let's say the first year Patricia comes in, the guys don't buy into his program. Okay, good. The second year, though, they buy in. Stafford, well, the team goes 3-4-1 while Stafford is in. They were looking better than the first year, going in the right direction. He gets hurt, and now the rest of the year is gone. This year, we are literally one drop pass away from being 1-1. Okay? Is it possible that the organization does not listen to 97.1 and they think that things are on the cusp of being awesome? I mean, is that even possible?
Well, I would have thought that they don't listen to 97.1 if they didn't reference Mike Valenti during their press conference yesterday. So obviously they do listen to 97.1.
Well, it was brought up. It was a question that was asked, but
When you do it.
So, you know what you just described? You just described the microbial scintilla.
Well, I think
the fact that if you want to buy into hope, you can still buy into hope that they should be 1-1. It was a drop pass away, and it was a bad one at that. That they very well should be 1-1 with the loss of Green Bay to be expected.
You know what that is, though?
Exactly.
But here's and I know you were playing devil's advocate with that, unless you really do believe this.
Yeah.
That's the NFL, man.
I don't want to see
It is
him
the
around.
NFL.
That's the NFL. Week in and week out, teams lose because it's a game of inches. I mean, that's what happens. There's one or two. There's absolutely one. The games are decided by one score. You can point to one play. More than likely, you can point to 10 plays out there or more as to plays that really could have defined that game. But that's the NFL, man. Good teams, they win those games. They win those inches, and it's hard. So Reggie Ragland yesterday.
They're a lot better than
Well, let me put it to you like this, Jerry. If I were in that building and our job was to win, and I was trying to convince my team not to give up, I'd be selling them what you want. Hey guys, we all know what happened in week 1. This is what you'd be selling. You'd be selling them a fluke. I, as a coach, won't let it happen again, or I, as an administrator, whatever, whoever you are in the building, me as a player, I won't let it happen again. Week 2, I mean, it's Green Bay. We're banged up. We aren't going to win that game. Now we gotta find another win because we gave one up to Chicago.
I don't know if we have the sound in the system from Reggie Ragland yesterday, but Reggie Ragland broke it down in a way that I don't think fans like to hear, but I think because it is a game of inches, this is what it is. And that is, this is a league where it's not about talent. Everybody's got talent. It's about from the neck up. That's where the problems are with this team. It's from the neck up because guys aren't making the plays that they know that they can make and that they should be able to make. And I think it was an interesting take. And, you couple that with knowing that this is a game of inches, I don't think he's terribly far off. I think initially you're like, all right, whatever, dude, there's a big talent disparity. And there may be a disparity in some areas, but it is about execution. And if you can't execute, you're not going to win. But if you're a coach and you can't find a way to ingrain it into your players how to execute, you got to go.
All right, here we go. Coming up at 11:20, as promised, in college football over-under. We're talking about specifically for the Big Ten. The game at 11:35. Now is a report. The Tigers are in the draft. We'll get to that at 11:35. Got 97.1 the ticket.
24-month lease, $10,500 a year, no security deposit. Total due outstanding F-150 3409. Fusion 2426. Fusion pricing for returning lessees trading a 1995 or newer vehicle. AZ plan pricing for returning lessees, including board select inventory rebates, plus tax title license and dock with approved financing through Ford Credit. Ends 9/30/2020.
Brian Godfrey, is it true Pat Milliken Ford customers can buy online or at the dealership?
It is. We're always ready to help you at the dealership, but if you're looking for the convenience of buying from home, we offer that too with our Milliken Express program.
And right now you can lease a new 2020 Ford F-150 XLT Super Group 4x4 or a new 2020 Fusion SE, both Milliken Express priced from just $149 a month.
Plus, with the Ford Promise, customers who finance through Ford can return their purchase within a year if faced with financial hardship due to loss of employment. Visit the dealership for more details.
Start your experience online at patmillikenford.com or visit the dealership on Telegraph Road.
Pat Milliken Ford, over 60 years of the experience you deserve.
I'm Joe Biden, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
But they've got the experience. I'm still in shock 3 or 4 years later that we're in this position now. Our democracy is at a pivotal point. From the top, we don't trust our government. We see the trouble we're in economically. We've got 170,000 Americans dead, and yet this president will do anything he can to make it seem like things are better than they are.
I did more for the black community than anybody with the possible exception of Abraham Lincoln.
It's our responsibility. If we don't lead that effort to make things better, we can't ask other people to do it. There is no good reason not to vote.
Right, we need to have individuals that are in office like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
They are our best shot to take us forward. That's what makes me incredibly hopeful, but we really do have to work for this thing.
To the thousands who did not vote, we need you to show up for our future and for our country.
You cannot sit on the sidelines. You got to get in the game.
Paid for by Biden for president.
Hiring can be challenging, but ZipRecruiter makes it fast and easy. We talked to Monica Starks, who needed to hire for a pivotal role at her company, GS Group.
As the owner of a construction company, finding the right people is a very difficult task. So I use ZipRecruiter.
ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology identifies the right people for your job and actively invites them to apply, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/hire. Monica did, and that's how she found Lamont, her new project superintendent.
The job is so perfect for me. I had a career breakthrough. I would have never found this job if it wasn't for ZipRecruiter.
With ZipRecruiter, we've hired everyone from accountants to project managers to field scientists. With ZipRecruiter, we get hiring results.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/hire. That's ZipRecruiter.com/hire. ZipRecruiter.com/hire.
At Shell, we know from the time you get up to the time you wrap up,
Good night.
there's a lot of meetups, eat-ups, and hurry-ups. So come to Shell and get 3 things done at once. Fill up with Shell V-Power Nitro Plus to help keep your engine running like new. Save up with the Fuel Rewards program and never pay full price for gas again. And snack up with in-store rewards to save even more at the pump. Make the most of the stop you need to make with Shell. And engines that continuously use Shell V-Power Nitro Plus premium gasoline. See full terms and conditions at fuelrewards.com.
This is time that matters. A window of time to help protect the ones you love. Your preteen benefits from staying up to date with their well visits. This is your window of protection. Schedule their well visit now. Brought to you by Merck.
Did you know there's more than one Las Vegas? There's the Strip with families on vacation and questionable odds. Then there's downtown Vegas, the original gambling and entertainment mecca. That's where you'll find the D Las Vegas. Book your stay at thed.com. The D Las Vegas, your home for Detroit sports in Vegas.
Now, text or call the ticket using the same number. Ticket text 248-539-9797.
A lot to learn from this game, and obviously go out and improve and get better, and certainly with another very difficult game in front of us with Arizona, traveling to Arizona, playing a team that's obviously playing at a high level. So that's where we're at here today. Taking a look at the game, and then got to turn the page here. It is the NFL, and there's another game this weekend. We got to get ready for it.
The Gators feedback coming in, all kinds of stuff.
I bet there is.
Teeny tiny ray of hope equals waste of time. Life is precious. Use it wisely.
Okay.
A fractionated subportional iota of hope.
Wow.
Fractionated subportional iota of hope. That's what they have. Guys, I expect to see Galladay in a Patriots uniform. Just saying. That's from Steve.
Well, that'll come back.
I didn't realize you could be drunk at 11 a.m. Drop pass or not, this team got shredded by Trubisky. Look, the guy said he's playing devil's advocate.
Well, yeah, he's playing devil's advocate, but the point is, if you didn't drop the pass, they win the game.
That's kind of a fact.
Yeah, you can't dispute that.
And you can win games when your defense gets shredded.
Yes.
That can't happen. It's unfortunate that it keeps happening, and it's a major problem.
Last year, the Lions did it to the Chargers.
This defense is so far from being successful, it's hard to even imagine what rushing for all the time, playing man coverage with two deep safeties, how it works. Like what kind of players you need all over the field to make this work.
Yeah, apparently players that really, 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 really understand the defensive scheme as much as the coaches do. It's not working. They need to change it. Boy, they need to change it.
From an unnamed texter, why give picks to Quinn? They need a new GM. Well, look.
And therein lies the rub.
Yeah, this is...
Thank you.
Certain, right? I mean, certainly you want somebody else to use them, but that doesn't mean you shut down as an organization. If you've decided you don't want him to do anything else moving forward, then you let him go. But in the meantime, do you have anybody in the organization that could either A, sign Galladay, or B, trade him? Because doing neither is a mistake. From DTM and Warren, are people blind or what Lions games are they watching? Staff and the offense are not the problem. They're scoring plenty of points, jumping out to fast starts. On teams, it's the defense that craps out, and at times it's really sad and pathetic. It's the defense, not Stafford and the offense. Well, if they're gonna do anything this year, based upon what we've seen, it's gonna be because their offense outscores people. And by that, we're talking about high-scoring affairs, because they're not likely to stop the repeat.
No. I got to tell you, Doug, right now, I have a very unhappy dog.
Do you?
She's pissed at me.
Well, over what?
I changed locations.
Yeah.
I started the show, I was on the couch, Lois's couch. And then I decided to change it up because the background is just the window, but I've got the blind on the window, so it just looks white and boring.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to shift a little bit and put myself in front of the fireplace here.
Okay.
And the dog, I'm sitting in a sectional chair, if you will, so the dog doesn't have room to be
cozying up next to you?
Right. So
like she did yesterday?
Right. So she is pissed, and I'm trying to turn the camera on to where she is.
The Twitch feed up here. Oh, she's shunning you.
She is absolutely shunning.
That is a total shun.
Yeah.
If you're not watching on Twitch, you go to twitch.tv to see Gator's dog Lois totally shunning him. Like totally ignoring you.
Yeah.
Back turned.
Yeah.
You're right there talking too, so it's not like she doesn't hear you.
No, I mean, Lois. Puppy, come on.
Wow.
Really? Not even. I mean, nothing?
Nothing.
Is it that upset?
Is it possible she's asleep?
No.
All right.
I mean, she's resting. If I could see the other side, if I could see her face right now, I'm sure her eyes are open. She has a little sad look on her face.
Mm-hmm. Boy, you are getting shunned. Yeah. Cold shoulder right there.
That's what's going on in this house.
Again, if you're on Twitch, twitch.tv, you can see this going on. Gator's dog. Totally ignoring him. What's the guitar, by the way? People are going to ask.
What's the guitar?
Yeah, which guitar was that? Sitting next to her.
This is a Lux Tone.
Yeah.
This is a Choppa J, they call it.
Okay.
It's a heavily relict guitar.
I was about to say, it looks relict.
It's beautiful. You were about to say that? Yeah.
I was about to say it. When I saw it, I thought that's the definition of rock.
It's a fantastic relic job on this guitar. It's a fantastic guitar. Lux Tone makes amazing guitars.
Mm-hmm.
They're hand-built out in California. I love them.
Yeah.
I have several of these, but
well,
the only Choppa J that I have, it's beautiful.
Gator loves the guitar. Gator loves the guitar, and Lois right now does not love Gator.
Yeah, Lois doesn't love the guitar either.
So,
that could have something to do with it.
The Big Ten over-unders came out from Bet Online yesterday. I'm going to run through these real quick, and then I want to talk about them. Illinois, 3.5. This is an 8-game schedule. Indiana, 5.5. Iowa, 5. Maryland, 2.5. Michigan, 6.5. Michigan State, 3.5. Minnesota, 6.5. Nebraska, 5. Northwestern, 4. Ohio State, 8.5. Penn State, 7.5. Purdue, 3.5. Rutgers, 1.5. Wisconsin, 7. When you first look at them, any comments, anything jump out to you?
Well, my first thought was it's an 8-game schedule, and Ohio State's at 8.5. But then I realized, okay, every team in the Big Ten is going to play 9 games, in theory, so long as COVID doesn't bite them. Because you'll have the Big Ten championship game, which will be a 9th game for likely Ohio State, and then every other team that's going to play their crossover team with
the championship week.
Yeah, so it'll be kind of cool. I actually like that idea. I think it's great to get that 9th game in there.
Apparently Harbaugh's idea.
Well, good for Jim. Ohio State 8.5, I think it just speaks volumes as to where that program is in comparison to the rest of the league.
Yeah, but we don't need to spend time, patting them on the back. Let's look at other
Fair enough.
things.
You want to hear about the other ones. All right, so
if you had to bet an over or an under, which would you bet? Now, I would start with this. One of the first things I do if I walk to the window is that these totals are no matter how many games are played, because I bet a lot of unders.
Right.
Because in a COVID world with no bye weeks, if you miss a game, if a game is postponed, and we've already seen a number of postponements, I don't think the Big Ten has room for postponements. They just go straight cancellation. So I bet under.
Yeah, I'm going to assume that, let's just, for the sake of argument, assume that there's going to be 9 games. And if that's the case, then I think there's some interesting things there. With regards to our local teams, Michigan at 6.5, I find that to be interesting. Because you look at, they've got Minnesota, who's also at 6.5. What's it? Wisconsin's
at 7.
They're at 7.
Penn State's at 7.5.
And then you got Ohio State 8.5. I mean, so basically you're saying Michigan go 7-2 in the 9 games. And I think that's tough to do. If they're able to get, if the NCAA allows for, I know that Mayfield's trying to get back.
Yeah.
And Ambry Thomas, if they're both going to be able to come back, they've got a chance at it. So
there's now rumblings that Nico's trying to get back, but I don't know what to buy into and what is.
It seems like we're far down the road here. That I don't know. Well, I mean, it depends.
We got over a month to a game, so
yeah. I would say I think that's a tricky over/under right there at 6.5, because I could see 6 or 7 wins for Michigan. I don't think
it's a well-placed number.
Yeah, it's a very well-placed number. Michigan State at 3.5 is so difficult because you have no idea what Michigan State's going to be. Sure, you know the personnel, but you don't know what the offense is. You don't know if let's say if Rocky Lombardi's the quarterback. Is this offense tailored to Rocky Lombardi, where all of a sudden he can look like a really, really good quarterback? Don't know. We don't know what the freshmen look like. If they're ready to step in, like a freshman running back, if they're ready to make a difference. Don't know. I saw yesterday they had the updated heights and weights of the team, and the team has put on a significant amount of weight, particularly on the offensive line. And I think that's a good thing, because it seems like with the pandemic, all guys were able to do was work out. So I don't think it's like the offensive line putting on fat. That's putting on muscle, and that should bode well. The over/under at 3.5, I like it for Michigan State. I like the over, but I don't know if they're going to win 5 games, but I think they can win 4.
So I have an over here from the Big Ten I love, and an under I love. We will get to those today at 11:32. Plus, there is now some reporting on how the MLB is going to do their draft, how it pertains to the Tigers. That at 11:35 here on 97.1 The Ticket.
Whether you're a high school athlete, lifelong athlete, amateur or pro, this is a game changer. Introducing the new Henry Ford Center for Athletic Medicine, a brand new 54,000 square foot facility staffed with scores of sports medicine specialists, housing a state-of-the-art physical therapy space, all connected to the Henry Ford Detroit Pistons Performance Center. As the official team physicians for the Detroit Pistons and official healthcare provider of the Detroit Lions, we use the most innovative technologies like motion analysis to champion the whole athlete, from injury prevention and treatment to performance conditioning. Let us create a unique game plan for you, just like we do for the pros. Start at henryford.com/athletes. Henry Ford Health System, all for you.
Our homes today are like little cities, full of different interneting boroughs, like the entertainment district in the living room, or the virtual fitness center in the garage. And Xfinity Internet keeps it all running smoothly with the fastest speed to power all your devices at once. You get coverage around town, from the financial district home office to the spa. Plus, get added protection to help keep your Wi-Fi network safe, like an at-home police station.
Xfinity Internet keeps your little city humming with reliable speed, coverage, and added security. Now that's simple, easy, awesome. Get started with Xfinity Internet for $25 a month for 12 months with a 1-year agreement. You'll get advanced security free with the XFi Gateway. Plus, ask about XFi Complete for whole home Wi-Fi, unlimited